Hi everyone, welcome back to my channel, and today I'll be setting up my 2026 yearly bullet journal. Before I show you the journal, I wanted to start with these red panda stickers from Notebook Therapy. They are part of the Suki Friends collection and I'll be using them throughout setup today. They are like washi style paper stickers, soft, lightweight and perfect for decorating my spreads as I go. And this is the bullet journal I'll be using for 2026. It's the Suki Friends Red Panda Limited Edition journal from Notebook Therapy. I choose this Suki Friends Red Panda journal because I've always really loved red pandas. There's just something about them that feels so gentle and comforting, and I thought it would be a really nice way to start a new year. The cover has a warm orange-brown linen texture with gold foil details on the front and along the edges, and I really love how gentle and cozy it looks. Inside, the paper is 160 GSM, so it feels thick and smooth, and it's really nice to write on without much bleeding or ghosting. Moving on to the next piece, I'll be unboxing this journal cover from Leela Journals. I've actually had this cover for a while now, but I saved it for the end of the year, so I'm really excited to finally start using it. I love this cover because of the overall aesthetic. It's white with soft rose details and it feels very calm and gentle, which is exactly the kind of mood I want for this setup. What's really nice about Leela Journals is that they have so many lovely journal covers, washi tapes, stickers, charms, and notebooks with different themes and fabrics. So if you love aesthetic stationery, there's a lot to explore on her shop. I've always loved Leela Journals products too. The designs are so cute and have a sort of soft feminine charm that I really admire, so I'm happy to finally use this in my own setup. Oh, also I do want to mention that this setup is going up a little late. It's actually December 31st today and I'm only now setting up my 2026 bullet journal. Things have been really busy for me and time just slipped by, but I still really wanted to take a moment to slow down and create this before the year ends. The cover itself is white with soft rose details layered with delicate lace, which I think makes it very romantic and gentle. On the side, it also has two lace tie straps so you can tie the cover closed, which I really love. It feels very vintage and feminine and it adds such a beautiful finishing touch to the design. The cover itself has lots of pockets inside, which I'm really looking forward to using. I can store stickers, notes or little bits and pieces I want to have handy while journaling. Before I start setting anything up inside, I want to take a moment to make this journal feel a little more personal and really like mine. I love decorating and adding small details that makes my things feel cute and meaningful, so I always like to start with the cover first. I'll be decorating the cover and the bookmark ribbons and I'm going to add a few charms to them. I really love charms and pom-poms, so I'll be adding some of those as well. I chose this soft brown pom-pom because I didn't really want to go with white. I was originally planning to use it with a brown ribbon keychain, so the brown felt like it tied everything together really nicely. I also think it works well with the neutral colors I'm using and the sticker I created for this journal. On the day I was filming, I couldn't find the brown keychain I had in mind, so I ended up using a different one, but honestly, I still really love how it looks. Even if the colors aren't an exact match, they don't feel out of place to me. Everything still feels soft and cohesive, and that's what matters most. I'll also be using this pink ribbon that comes with the special gift pack from Leela Journals. I thought it would be really nice to layer it onto the cover to add a soft, delicate touch. At the top of the journal, there's a little loop where you can attach a keychain or charms, so I'll be adding some there too. As 2025 comes to an end, I've been taking a little time to slow down and reflect before starting a new year. I'm going to begin this setup with my name page, which always feels like a quiet starting point for me, almost like opening a new chapter. It's actually been a while since I last bullet journaled. The past year was very full of me. I moved countries, stayed busy and went through a lot of changes. There were many ups and downs and quite a few obstacles along the way, but I managed to get through them. Because of that, I'm hoping that 2026 will feel a little more calm, steady, and grounded. That's the feeling I want to bring into this journal as well. For the next page, I'm creating my 2026 cover page. I'm still going with a Red Panda theme, but instead of using the traditional Red Panda colors, I wanted to keep everything more neutral so it matches the cover of my journal. For this page, I made my own 2026 Red Panda sticker. I designed it on my iPad, printed out, and cut it using my Caesar Juliet, choosing a softer muted tones that fit the overall aesthetic I'm going for. I wanted this page to feel like a balance between the theme I love and the calm, gentle colors I'm drawn to right now. For this setup, I want things to feel a little calmer, more organized, and more intentional. I'm not sticking too strictly to any one theme or layout. I have a general idea in mind, but I want to let myself go with how I'm feeling as I create each page. I have planned out the pages I know I'll actually use, but when it comes to decorating, I want to see where it takes me naturally instead of forcing anything. I'm also trying to avoid making my spreads feel too busy. I'll be using fewer boxes and keeping things simple so everything feels open and easy to look at. Most of the pages I'm adding are ones that will genuinely help me with planning and personal organization throughout the year. I want this journal to be something that supports me and not something that feels overwhelming. This bullet journal isn't about being perfect. It's just a space for me to plan, track my life, and take care of myself again. So in today's video, I'll be sharing how I set up my 2026 bullet journal, from my yearly pages and trackers to my finances, content tracking, and memory keeping. If you have been feeling a bit overwhelmed or like you need a reset, I hope this video can be a cozy and inspiring space for you. For this page, I'm setting up my intentions for 2026. I'm dividing it into a few gentle sections like what I'm welcoming, what I'm releasing, and how I want to feel in the year ahead. I have also included a few goals just to guide me and gently remind me of what matters most to me in 2026. I want this page to feel thoughtful but still light and easy to come back to. In the welcoming section, I'll be writing down things like balance between rest and productivity, creativity, and consistency without pressure. I'm also focusing on building a healthier relationship with time and allowing growth to happen in a way that feels gentle and natural. For what I'm releasing, I'm letting go of overthinking and self-doubt, as well as the guilt that comes with resting. I'm also choosing to release the habit of rushing myself to catch up or comparing my journey to others. And for how I want to feel in 2026, I'm focusing on calm, steadiness, and presence. I want to feel grounded, creative, and connected to myself and to my family. This page is less about setting rules for myself, but more about creating a reminder of how I want my year to feel. I'm using neutral tones and touches of pink and handwritten washi just to add a bit of warmth without making the page feel busy. These are the matching Tatsuki Friends Red Panda sticker set from Notebook Therapy that I pick up to use with this journal. I really love how cohesive and creative they feel. They match the notebook so nicely and make decorating feel easier, especially when I don't feel like drawing too much. For this part, I'm using my glitter highlighters in a soft green and a gentle pink. The green reminds me of bamboo stems and rose leaves, so it ties in nicely with the Red Panda theme while still keeping everything neutral and calm. Since this is a Red Panda inspired setup, I'm using bamboo stems as dividers instead of boxes. I didn't want to rely too much on structural layouts, so this felt like a more natural way to separate each section. The pink adds a little warmth and softness to match the cover and the toned paper details. I really like using these colors together. They keep the page light and cohesive without feeling too bright or overwhelming. I put my intentions page at the very front because it sets the tone for the whole journal. It's the first thing I want to see when I open it, and it reminds me of what I'm aiming for before getting into planning. I did add one small box for my goals, just to help them stand out a little, but overall, I'm trying to keep the page open, calm, and easy to come back to. I'm not setting big or overwhelming goals here. I want these to feel more like quiet reminders than expectations, something that supports me instead of adding pressure. To add a little more warmth to the page, I'm drawing a few tiny sparkles and simple doodles with my gold gel pen. After that, I'm placing a red panda sticker to bring the theme back in. Moving on to the next page is my index page. For this one, I'm keeping it very simple. I'm just writing the title and adding a little bit of decoration. I'm not filling anything in yet since the index is something I like to build slowly as I use my journal. I like leaving this page open and flexible so it grows naturally along with the rest of the journal. For the index page, I'm using the same decorative style as my intentions page. I'm tearing the paper again and using the same washi and color palette so everything feels cohesive and flows nicely from one page to the next. I'm keeping the decoration very light, just enough to frame the title so the page still feels open and functional for later on. I really love journaling, especially bullet journaling, even though it does take time and I sometimes struggle to finish a full setup. But this year, I felt the need to slow down and be more intentional with how I plan my life, so I decided to gently get back into bullet journaling again. If you have been following my channel, you'll know I enjoy all kinds of journaling. I love sticker collages, creative journaling, and I also do scrapbooking even if I hadn't shared all of that on my channel yet. Creating with paper, layouts, and stickers has always been something I enjoy. And I especially have a soft spot for stickers. I just love all kinds of stickers and they're such a big part of how I express creativity in my journals. I'm adding a few bamboo stems to the index page to keep it consistent with the red panda theme. I also placed a small red panda sticker for a subtle touch, just enough to add a bit of character without taking away from the simplicity of the page. I like keeping these details very light so the page still feels clean and open. To finish off the page, I'm adding a few small washi touches at the top and bottom to create a simple border. And now I'm going in with a soft pigment brush in a light grey color to add some gentle shading, just to help the boxes stand out a little while keeping everything soft and subtle. I'm adding a few small stars around the red panda sticker to make it pop a little more. I did this after I finished setting up the journal, so you won't see the stars in the page flips just yet. I wanted to show this part here so you can see the final touches I added later on. The next page is my future log. I really like having a future log because it lets me see the whole year at a glance. I use it to write down things like birthdays, appointments, and any plans I already know about, so everything for the year is in one place. I usually don't have a lot to write down in advance, so I like keeping my future log on just one page. It feels simple and easy to come back to throughout the year. There are a lot of different ways to set up a future log, but since I wanted to keep mine on one page, I had to work with what fits my handwriting best. For me, I can fit 6 boxes on one side of the page, which is the only way I can fit the entire year into a single spread right now. If you are planning to use more pages, there are definitely other options. You could use calendar stickers or even stamps, which a lot of people like to do. I actually consider using stamps myself too, but I noticed that with stamped calendars, only about 4 months fit on one page, which would mean using 2 or 3 pages just for the future log, and that's not something I personally wanted. So I decided to write everything out by hand instead. It does take a bit more time, but I find it really satisfying, especially when it's sped up in the time lapse. Instead of writing the months by hand, I printed and made my own month stickers. I wanted neutral colors to match the cover page, and using a clear sticker sheet helped keep everything soft and cohesive. While I'm adding the highlights for the weekdays here, I just wanted to mention that this page was originally meant to be my vision board or mood board. I accidentally mixed up the order when I was planning my spreads, so I ended up redoing my future log and moving it to the correct place. For the page that didn't work out, I'm planning to turn it into my mood board instead. I'll be adding a background paper and laying out photos on it later on. I won't be showing the mood board in this video though. I want to create that in a separate video, so I'll be skipping over that part for now. To finish off this page, I'm adding a few final touches to help everything feel cohesive with the theme. Instead of drawing bamboo stems across the page, I went with some lettering inspired by bamboo, and I'll be adding a few red panda stickers to tie everything together. I didn't want to decorate this page too much since there isn't a lot of writing space. I really wanted to keep it minimal, simple and clean rather than making it feel overcrowded or busy. This is the page I mentioned earlier that didn't work out. I added a square grid style background to give the page a little structure, and I'll be turning this into my vision board later on. This next page is my yearly finance tracker, and this page is really important to me. I feel like I've been overspending quite a bit, and I want to be more mindful of whether I'm spending fairly in relation to my income and my expenses. This page is where I can keep track of my total yearly income and how much I've spent and how much I've saved, so I can come back and look at everything clearly in one place. I also want to keep track of things like subscriptions and bills on this page as well, so I can see everything clearly for the whole year. I'm adding the bamboo divider again here, the same one I used on my intentions page, just to help everything feel a bit more cohesive with the theme. I'm adding a few small doodles and decorative stickers like maple leaves and red panda elements just to bring everything together. For the next page, I'm setting up my yearly savings challenge. This is just a personal challenge I like to do for myself. I've done saving challenges before, and I usually create my own and try my best to stick with them throughout the year. I really like the idea of adding a small game element into my bullet journal, similar to how people use bingo style challenges, because it makes journaling feel a bit more fun and playful. I want my journal to be a place where I can plan, reflect, and also enjoy the process. For this challenge, I set myself a saving goal for the year. Since I have a full-time job and I'm also working on building side and passive income, I wanted something that motivates me to save and work towards something by the end of the year. So I started by setting myself a saving goal, and then I randomly divided that amount across the 12 months. I printed out circles with different numbers on them and then covered them with scratch-off stickers. I placed everything randomly on the page, so I won't know which amount belongs to which month. That way, it feels a bit more fun and challenging since I won't know how much I'll be saving until I scratch it off. I'll be scratching them off as I go through the year, and once everything is added up, I will have reached my savings goal for this challenge. Having a challenge gives me something to look forward to, and it helps with motivation, not just financially but mentally as well. It makes planning feel less like a chore and more like a creative space I actually want to come back to. I think challenges are great because you can make them completely your own. They don't have to be strict or perfect. You can set goals that feel realistic and fun for you and adjust them in a way that suits your lifestyle. There are so many different kinds of challenges you can try, and for this year, I really wanted to keep things playful, so using scratch-off stickers makes savings feel a little more exciting, and it's something I'll enjoy doing as the year goes on. Here, I try using the same bamboo style lettering that I used in my future log, just to see how it will look and to help the title stand out a bit more. But in the end, I felt like the page actually looked better without it, so I decided not to use this lettering style in the following spreads. For the next few pages, I'll be setting up my yearly habit trackers. Habit trackers are something I really like including in my bullet journal because they help me notice patterns over time. Instead of focusing on being perfect or consistent every single day, tracking habits allow me to gently check in with myself and see how things are going overall. I do have some habits that I track monthly, but these are the ones I want to keep an eye on throughout the entire year so I can look back and reflect on them as a whole. Before I start filling everything in, I just wanted to explain why I placed the habit tracker title along the side. I wanted all of my habit trackers to feel like they belong together, almost like they're part of one small section or group in my journal. So I decided to create a Dutch door under one shared title. I wrote the title on the left side and then I cut the page on the right so it opens up like a Dutch door. That way, even when I flip the page, I can still see the habit tracker title and I always know that I'm in the habit tracker section. I also really like this because I only need to write the title once instead of repeating it on every page, which makes it more convenient and saves a bit of time. The first tracker I'm setting up is my health tracker. This one is more about getting a general overview rather than tracking every little detail. I created a small symbol key using simple shapes so I can quickly mark how I'm feeling each day without overthinking it. My goal with this tracker is just to be more aware of my overall health by the end of the year. Next, I'm setting up my mood tracker using the same layout so everything feels consistent. For this one, I'll be tracking my mood using colors and I added a color key on the side so it's easy to understand at a glance. I really like tracking my mood yearly because it helps me see patterns and changes over time rather than focusing on just one month. I added color codes next to my mood tracker so I can easily find the right color without having to swatch or search for it each time. Writing the colors down makes it much quicker for me to match the mood with the correct color instead of guessing or testing different pens every time I fill it in. For this, I'm using my Uhuhu color markers. They have a brush tip on one side and a fine liner on the other, which makes them really convenient for both coloring and small details. For the decoration on the Dutch door, I decided to go with a bamboo style design. I choose bamboo because it feels very calm and natural, and it ties in really nicely with the Red Panther theme without being too bold or distracting. I added the bamboo and leaves along the edge of the door to give the page a bit of texture and movement while still keeping everything soft and minimal. For this small size section of the Dutch door, I originally thought about using it for notes, but the space felt a little too small for that. So instead, I decided to keep it decorative and use soft colors like yellow, green and pink to match the overall palette I've been using throughout the journal. I really like how it adds a little pop of color while still blending in nicely with the rest of the theme. I like taking my time with pages like this, especially when there's no pressure to make them perfect. It's more about enjoying the process and letting things come together naturally. I also really enjoy playing with colors and small details, even if they don't have a specific purpose. Sometimes those little moments of creativity are what makes the journal feel personal and comforting. I think that's one of the things I love most about bullet journaling. It doesn't have to be strict or structured all the time. It can be a place to plan, reflect, and just slow down for a bit. In a way, that's also why bullet journaling and collage videos feel very different to me. With my bullet journal, I can be flexible and go with the flow. I can change things as I go, experiment, and let the pages evolve naturally. But with collage videos, especially ones inspired by movies or songs, I feel like they need a bit more structure. I really want the elements, colors, and overall mood to match the theme properly. So that's why I usually take a little bit more time with movie-related requests. I also want to mention that I'm a bit more of a cartoon person, which is why you'll probably see me doing a lot of Disney-themed spreads. I've watched a lot of cartoons over the years, so those themes feel really familiar and fun for me to work with. Movie requests can take me a little longer, especially if it's something I haven't watched yet. I like giving myself time to watch it first so I can understand the mood, the characters, the details and the vibe first before turning it into a collage spread. I know that means some requests take a bit longer, and I'm really sorry about that. I truly appreciate your patience and support. I just want to make sure that when I do create something, it feels thoughtful and true to the theme. And now moving back to the setup, I'm adding another bamboo stem along the back of the Dutch door just to keep everything cohesive with the rest of the page. On this next section, I'm setting up my meditation tracker. This is something I really want to focus on this year. I want to be more calm, less stressed, and more present in my day-to-day life. And having this tracker is a gentle reminder for me to slow down and check in with myself. Oh, and also I want to mention that I'm not a professional calligrapher. This is just something I'm trying and learning as I go. I like using fonts that feel comfortable for me, and I love doing joint lettering, so that's what I use even if it's not a traditional calligraphy. The last tracker I'm setting up is my content tracker. I want to be more consistent with uploading this year, especially on YouTube and hopefully across all the other platforms as well. Having everything laid out visually helps me stay more aware of my posting habits without feeling overwhelmed. So for this tracker, I'm using markers to fill it in just to make it feel a bit more fun and motivating to use over time. I really like how these pages are turning out, and they feel functional, calm, and still creative, which is exactly what I want from my yearly spreads. These trackers aren't about being perfect, they're just a gentle way for me to check in with myself as the year goes on. Now I'm adding a few red panda stickers to keep everything consistent with the theme. I also added some small star details behind the stickers just to help them stand out a little more and add interest without making the pages feel too busy. And now, moving on to the last page of my 2026 bullet journal setup. This is my 2026 highlights page. I wanted this page to be a place where I can reflect on what the year looks like as a whole, the things I enjoyed, the music I loved listening to, and the movies I enjoyed watching, and also the moments that felt special to me. I'll be adding one highlight photo for each month, starting from January, choosing a photo that represents something meaningful like a trip, a memory, or a moment that I want to remember from that month. Between each month, I added a small dot as a time marker, so I can write down important dates, events, or achievements that happened during that time. It's kind of like a timeline, but instead of drawing a straight line, I wanted it to feel more like a photo collage timeline, something more organic and creative that I can slowly build throughout the year. I really like the idea of coming back to this page at the end of the year and seeing all those memories come together in one place. As I'm decorating this page, I just want to remind myself that it isn't about making everything perfect right now. This page is meant to stay a little open and unfinished because it's something that will grow naturally as the year goes on. I like leaving space for moments I can't plan yet, things that happen unexpectedly, or memories that end up being more meaningful than I imagined. I really like letting a page come together slowly instead of finishing everything all at once. It makes the journal feel more personal and it gives me something nice to come back to as the year goes on. I'm drawing the Polaroid frames freehand without using a ruler. I actually like how it looks a little wobbly and imperfect. It makes the page feel more natural and handmade rather than too structured. While I'm finishing up the Polaroid frames, I'm adding the months in each one just to mark the time and keep everything organized as the year goes on. After that, I'm going back in to add a bit of highlighting around the frames just to help them stand out slightly and give the page a little more depth without making it feel too busy. Here, I made my grid spacing guide and my key page card using the back page of my bullet journal. I made the key card with the symbols I'll be using throughout my journal. For the grid spacing guide, I marked out both the horizontal and vertical spacing so I can use it as a quick ruler whenever I'm setting up new pages. I also decided to use the charm that comes with Leela Journals cover. I punched a small hole in the key card and attached the charm to it so it becomes a little decorative piece that I can keep inside the cover. It's still functional, but it also adds a nice decorative touch, and I really like how it looks when I take it out for use. I'll be using the sticker pack envelope from Notebook Therapy as my future letter envelope. I didn't want to throw it away, and I really like being able to reuse it for something meaningful. And lastly, here's a final flip through of my yearly bullet journal pages. I love how this setup came together and how these pages feel calm, intentional, and personal to me. I'm really happy with how it turned out, and I really hope you enjoyed this video. Thank you so much for spending this time journaling with me, and I hope this setup gave you a little inspiration for your own journal in some way, whether that's through layouts, themes, or simply creating something that feels right for you. I wish all of you a year ahead filled with happiness, growth, and beautiful moments. And thank you so much again for watching, for being here with me, and I'll see you in the next one.